Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's not Friday. It's not Friday. No, it's Thursday. We're live Thursday this week. It's 4th and Long, brought to you by 4 Laps Down right here on Facebook. I'm Nathan. Chris is over that way. Say hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Chip is not in his chair right now. I don't know where he went to.
I mean, just like a tenth of a second ago, just gone.
Yeah, there he went. So he'll be back.
He took off to be late.
Yeah, he'll be back. Listen, guys, we're live on a special night.
Cheers.
Cheers. Hold on. I got a little bit in here for you.
It's not gonna be one of those nights.
No, it's not. I've only got a little bit, but cheers.
I have enough to make me hurt tomorrow, but I'm not doing that.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, to a new night. Cheers.
All right.
Ooh, that's enough to get you going. What's up, Jack Stockton? Shawn Michaels here. He said Ship had to poop. Yeah, I think he might have. Listen, we're normally not live on Thursday, but one of the things we're going to do tonight was we are actually going to pick the Thursday game, which we normally don't get to do because we're normally live on Friday night. So here we are. The other thing is I want each and everybody,
do that now.
Each and every person who is watching this, I want each and every person who's watching this to share this with your friends. Please and thank you. Share it on your timeline. If you're watching us over on YouTube, like Jack Stockton is, share the link with your buddies in Discord and on Facebook. We really appreciate all of you jumping in. Now, here's the thing with this week. Because it's Thursday, we have the Thursday game. So we're going to pick it as soon as Ship gets back. But in the meantime, I want to talk a little bit about our presenting sponsor, the Outlaw Jerky Company.
But a big shipment came in.
Yeah. So
and as of right now, there's one with my name all over it.
That is true, and I want to show you. So I got the shipment in for the hot jerky that the loser of the Pick'em Challenge is going to have to eat at the end of the year here. And I'm looking for it. I'm trying to find it. Where'd it go?
Oh, you lost it.
Here it is. Right. So I've been advertising. That the hot jerky looks like this.
Other camera. Yes, this one.
Looks like this.
Us to see it, but everybody else sees it on this camera.
Oh,
what they sent me is this. Looks like this.
Good Lord.
So
see, that's like 3 hot chip challenges worth right there.
So Chris Land's gonna have to eat some of that hot jerky if he doesn't somehow dig himself out of last place.
I'm only one game out.
You are only 1 game out. No, you're 2 games out.
I don't think so.
2 games out. I'm not asking you, bud.
Don't let me push you down on air again.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on.
I thought
you were 1 game out last week.
And I was right behind Josh, right?
Yeah, you're 1 game out last week, and I show you and Josh had the same record. So you might only be 1 game out. I'll have to fix that before next week, but I don't have time to go back and redo the math right now. But you're either 1 game.
Because I'm not giving it to you.
Well, look, we didn't put no spreads on that. That's for sure. But yeah, so look, I think that we need to jump right in and just get some picks out there for this Thursday night game because it is starting like right now. So we're going to do that, and then we'll talk a little bit about last week, and then we'll jump back into it. So let's jump over to our screen here. Josh and Jordan are not with us tonight. They do have picks for the rest of the games. They don't have picks for this one. So the game that is starting like as we speak, of course, is Miami and Baltimore. Baltimore is favored quite a bit in this game, 8.5 points. What do we think on this one, guys?
Until Miami starts tackling somebody, I don't think Baltimore is a team you want to play if you're really interested in tackling, and they're not. So I'm going to go ahead and take them just to have about 300 yards rushing and a dub tonight for the Ravens.
Yeah, even using Latavius Murray, Devonta Freeman still running the ball. He looks good. Hollywood Brown looked good last week for Baltimore. Sammy seems to be a good compliment.
Bell got in the end zone.
So, but see, I want to run through this. So just run with me for a little bit. All right. So we're going to go back to October of 2018. Okay. Tua Tagovailoa tweaks his knee during a win in Missouri. Okay, November of 2018, during the late game against Mississippi State, he takes a hit on his left quad, causes a knee injury. December of 2018 in the SEC Championship, they step on Tua's ankle, causes an injury. October of 2019, he suffers another right ankle injury. November of 2019, as we all know, the last game against Mississippi State, he gets the hip injury. He's out for the rest of his career in the college. 2020, despite being cleared, he had a thumb injury. 2021 in September, let's see, he's carted off after a rough hit. He's placed on IR for rib fractures. November of this year, he's got a fracture on his middle finger. I mean,
he did not drink enough milk as a kid.
Like, that is bad to me. I mean,
he is just a brittle man.
Robert Griffin, and Jacoby Brissett, who had no idea he was probably going to get that much playing time when he signed on with Miami. And see, that hurts guys like Jalen Waddle and Devontae Parker and that kind. Because, I mean, Myles Gaskin, who I think can be a very good running back, you have no continuity. So it doesn't help when every week you're going, is it Tua? Well, Tua rolled his ankle getting out of bed. Is it Tua? Well, there's no way right now Miami gets consistency unless they get Deshaun Watson in the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, Miami's not a good football program at all. Not right now, anyway. Baltimore's a decent program. To Chris's point,
it was six win team, I guess. Is what I think
but see, here's the thing: the NFL's not a good program. So many. Oh, he must be on call tonight. So many teams in the NFL make the playoffs that 6 wins is never going to make the playoffs in that division. And if you have no shot at the playoffs, in my opinion, you're not a good program. I think, to your point, Miami's going to have to really learn how to tackle like in the next 8 seconds, or they got no shot in this game. So I'm gonna take Baltimore as well. I know it doesn't count for a pick'em standings because we normally don't pick the Thursday night game just because we're live Thursday. We are, but for those of you tuning in for the very first time, that's kind of the format of the show. We pick the games, the logos go up on the screen. We do keep a running tally of the pick'em standings. You'll see the standings there on the bottom of your screen on the ticker, along with all of the games and spreads for this coming NFL weekend. And I want to give a quick shout out again to Outlaw Jerky Company, our presenting sponsor. They did send me a massive care package, so many packets of beef jerky, some of which will be eaten by me, many of which will be given away both right here on Facebook on our stream and also over on Twitch on my Twitch stream. They do sponsor me there as well. Big props to the Outlaw Jerky Company for being our presenting sponsor. And with that being said, before we jump in let's talk a little bit about last week's results from the Pick'em Challenge while Ship is fielding his phone call there. And so let's see here. So last week we had 13 games on the board that we picked. Ship went 6-7. Everybody else went 7-6. So not much movement there. Ship's lead was definitely not much impacted. Not much impacted by this really bad week. But that being said, there was 6 games. So less than half of the games were unanimously picked. Of the ones that were not, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that were only picked by one person different. So a lot of uniformity in the picks last week. That's how you get this.
They said you got that win.
I did get the win. I did take the Giants. You're welcome. I told you, if Chris is picking the Raiders, I'm picking the Giants, and I picked the Giants, and the Giants won.
I heard it over and over in my head as they continue to just look horrible against a horrible team.
Look, the Raiders are wildly inconsistent this year.
I told you, I keep waiting for the shoe to drop.
You're a lot better off picking against them than for them. Against most of the league, but it is what it is. So last week was pretty fun. Definitely was a weird week. We've got some great games this week. Looking forward to seeing.
The greatest player of all time just missed a field goal.
Who? Justin Tucker.
Yeah,
he is the greatest player. Justin Tucker is the greatest NFL player of all time. Period. Period. It's
Nathan's
not.
hot take.
It's not close. It's not close.
It's not close. I love it.
All right, boys and girls. Before we get into next week, we do have, as always, a very special message from your boy, Mr. Paul Huber, and this week's edition of You Heard It from Hubie.
This poorly produced video has been brought to you by the Outlaw Jerky Company. Get some.
Hello everybody, I'm Hubie, and you're not. Welcome to another week of You Heard It from Hubie here in the Rock and Roll Woodshop, recorded live and uncensored. So I'm going to jump right in this week to say thank you to my man, Bo Freeman, for sending me 45 packages of jerky ready for delivery this week. But not only did he send me a bunch of jerky, I know that he also sent a care package to Nathan today, and I know he's going to tell you more about it right after this segment. So he also sent me a bottle of bourbon, Texas bourbon. That's right, Treaty Oak Ghost Hill Texas bourbon. I've never tried it. I'm going to open this up. You can see that this is a full bottle. This is 94 proof. It's been aged 18 months, which is actually very young for bourbon. And let's give it a try. Let's see how it is. All right. Not bad at all. Very subtle. Get a little bit of a kind of a banana or maybe apricot smell to it, which is not uncommon for bourbon. It's not real spicy. This is an easy drinking bourbon, and for only being aged 18 months, it's surprisingly smooth. It's not a low proof, because a lot of bourbon that you buy at the store is 80 proof. This is 94 proof, so this is kind of in the mid-range. This is very good. Oh yeah, very good. So for the Treaty Oak, I'm going to give it a solid 7. And all that I can say is, Bo, thank you. That was a wonderful surprise. I did not know that he was going to send that. So now that we're done with our adult beverage review of the week, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. You guys know that eventually I was going to get around to my Titans. I'm not that guy. I'm not the homer that's going to talk about them every week. But this week, Titans, baby, the defensive front four, the D-line destroyed and controlled the entire game, holding Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams to just one passing touchdown and forced 2 interceptions, one of them deep in the Rams in their own territory. Immediately ended up being 6 points for the Titans, and the route was on. The bad? Well, the Cowboys, the best home team in the entire league. You get Dak back. You basically have everyone back. You're healthy. You lose at home to the Denver Broncos. Come on, man. So, bad play calling, poor execution. Well, put those two things together, and you guys made Teddy Two Gloves look good this week in Week 9 of the NFL. Finally, the ugly. Buffalo at Jacksonville. The Jacksonville Jaguars limp away with a 9-6 win over the Buffalo Bills, one of the better teams in the league. No touchdowns in this game, but hey, just ask the Jags. A win is a win, especially when you're in the NFL. That's it for this week's edition of You Heard It from Hubie and the Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Let's throw it back to our esteemed panel. You guys, take it away. But wait, not yet. I'm not going to be here to drink with you guys live on camera. I have to fix this right now. This is for you guys. Cheers to our Nathan, Josh, Jordan, Daniel, Chris. Love you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4 laps down. And remember, kids, speed kills.
Huey, this one's for you, brother. I wore half of it, but it still counts.
Cheers to Hubie.
Okay.
Still
As
counts.
always.
Lieutenant Dan, are you on
Leaned
call
your
tonight?
Cowboy a little bit, right?
There you go. So, all right, guys. Now's the fun part of the show. Now's the part of the show where Daniel Ship gives us some stat. Not Dan Ship. That's his dad. Maybe watching. I don't know.
Yeah,
Daniel Ship's going to give us some stats, and then we're going to all make fun of Chris Land for the teams that he picks. So we're going to jump right into this, and we actually are going to try to finish the show on time this week since we have 2 fewer people to go through. But I want to catch up really quickly with chat. We do have some viewers over on YouTube tonight. We are always live on YouTube, but rarely do people stop through there. So thanks to those on YouTube. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Paul Huber, who was just on screen and is in the chat as well. If you have any questions for Hubie, go ahead and put them in the chat. He'll see them and respond. Brianna is here. She says, hi, Silver. Hi, Brianna. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for coming on over from the Twitch stream. Shawn Michaels here. Jacob Walker is here. What is good, Jacob? And I think there's a handful of other people that are watching but have not commented. So shout out to you if you haven't commented. No problem. But feel free to jump on in and give us your thoughts in the chat. With that being said, let's see here. Let's go ahead and make some picks. If I can get this damn thing to work. There we go. All right, let's make some picks here. So we had the Miami and Baltimore game that just kicked off. We did go ahead and pick that previously, but we're not gonna need those picks up there anymore. So let's jump right into it. First pick for this week is Sunday. And we're gonna do all the early games, then the late games, and then Sunday night, and then Monday night. We're gonna do them in that order. So first and foremost, we have the Colts and the Jags. What do you got for us, Mr. Statman Daniel Ship?
All right, let me get it up since you didn't send me the list already, so I have to go to my teams. All right, so look, the Colts have scored 25 plus points in 6 straight games. That's the longest NFL streak in NFL right now. Fewer than 25 points in each of their first 3 games of the season. So I did read recently that Carson got downgraded to questionable. So that's I don't know if that's just a more of a metaphor.
It's great if you have Jonathan Taylor on your fantasy team because it would be a feast.
So the Jags defense, though, ranks top 10 in points per game and total yards per game since week 6. They were 2-1 in that span. That puts them at, I think, 2-6 total. This season, between the two, Carson's 4-5, 63% completion, 17 touchdowns, so only 3 interceptions. Last year with Philly, he was at 16 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, so mostly big improved. The home team, by the way, has won the last 7 meetings between the Colts and Jaguars. So that tells you Trevor Lawrence is one of 4 rookie quarterbacks over the last 20 seasons, 250 plus passing attempts, and a sub 75 rating in the first 8 games. Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, Brandon Whedon were the other 3. And the Colts have won 4 of their last 6 games after starting 0-3. I'm taking Indianapolis in this. I don't care. I think it's a fluke what happened last week. There was a lot of weird stuff that went on with that game with Buffalo and Jacksonville, and I don't see it happening again. I like Indianapolis.
Okay, Chris, what do you think?
I just know Jacksonville isn't good enough to have a 2-game winning streak, so we're just going to stop that right there. We'll go on and take the Colts. Like I said, if you have been paying attention over about the last 4 to 5 weeks, Jonathan Taylor's been the best running back in the NFL. I was really high on him in fantasy this year, and I have him on 4 of 5 teams, so I'm super excited about that. So I think that train keeps on rolling. So we'll go and take them Colts.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about what Jacksonville did last week. I think obviously they're better than what we maybe thought they were, but I'm not convinced that it was much more than a fluke. Obviously for them to be able to hold the Bills to only 6 points and then beat them 9-6 is impressive. Regardless of what we think about them. But that being said, I agree with you, Chris. I don't think they strike gold 2 weeks in a row. I don't think the Colts are as bad as they've played. I think that Indianapolis is going to win here, and so does Josh and Jordan. They did send their picks in, and so
before we move on, I want to point out something from last week's game, though.
Yes,
last week when they upset the Bills, Josh Allen sacked Josh Allen. Josh Allen intercepted Josh Allen, and Josh Allen recovered a Josh Allen fumble. all on the positive side for the Josh Allen from the University of Kentucky, who should be a Las Vegas Raider.
I mean, would you really want him to be a Raider? Right. I mean,
yes, I would. I absolutely would.
The question is, would he want to be a Los Angeles Raider, a Las Vegas Raider?
Tell you, hey, they took Farrell from freaking Clemson, and again, it was a stupid thinking they're the smartest people in the room. And if you think that
they want to get rid of Cleveland, I've heard a little bit of rumblings that they're trying to.
I know it. See ya. And you know, it's like, and I'm a Raider fan, and I'm a Kentucky fan, and I got to see a bunch of games his senior year, and he was SEC Defensive Player of the Year, and like he kept falling, and they let him pass, and I was very, very, very upset. And now they want to get rid of the guy they got drafted, and they've lost another guy from that same draft. So my team is just in shambles. The team they should have, and they're pretty good now. But Josh Allen destroyed Josh Allen last week for the win.
Well, I don't know if you'll ever have that again either, by the way. Two guys with the exact same name going head-to-head on the field at the same time, a quarterback.
It's the first time it ever happened for people with the same name spelled the exact same way to even get a sack. So to get all three of those in one day, that's NFL. It'll never happen.
I always like you guys know what scoregami is, right? So scoregami is what they call any. So there are such things as unique scores in the NFL, and so say a game ends 17-7, right? The next time a game ends with a score of 17-7, that's not unique. There are still a handful of final scores that have yet to be attained in the NFL, and when that happens, they call it scoregami. So this is one of those things where it's like it doesn't really mean anything to the league or to the game, but it's kind of cool as a fan just to be able to see these types of things that rarely, if ever, or never happen. Finally actually manifest themselves on the field. Do we know?
Good information. I've heard that like once or twice, but I've never looked into that.
Yeah, so that's what scoregami is. So, and there are a lot of followers on social media, Twitter especially, and Reddit of the type of the scoregami type scores. So we did have one earlier this year. I forget what it was. There's a lot of them that where one of the team ends in something with a 5. Just because of the way that scoring, if you look at the lines, exactly. So like Paul Huber says in the chat there, 3-2 or 5-3, those are examples of like obscure final scores, right? So 9-6 is a little bit less obscure, but you do not see that very often. So, but there was a score that hit earlier
with probably 8 to a low number too.
Yeah, but even like going all the way up, I forget what the scoregami was that hit earlier this year, but there was one and it was up there. It was multiple points, multiple scores from both teams. So Titus says
I'm gonna do some that's great information. Good job, man.
Yeah. So we can maybe look up some information about scoregami and post something here in the Facebook group. By the way, if you're watching us, be sure
he does have value.
Be sure to follow us. Be sure to follow us over at 4 Laps Down. The page where we initiate this programming. So Ship just shared the link for scoregami there in the group chat, Chris. So you can check that out after the show.
So if you look at it, if you look at the graph, just so you read it, the winning score is across the top, the losing score is across the bottom. If you hit show count at the top, you can look at a score like a 9-2 score has only been done once.
So there you go. But it has been done.
Yeah, it has been done, but there's a lot of them that are either.
I think it was the A's and the Giants, though.
But there's a lot of unique scores that have like none of the ones, nothing like that.
So. Right.
Yeah, I've got to do some research on that. That's good stuff.
All right,
man. Good job. Thank you.
So moving on to the next game here, this is going to be an interesting one. This is one that I think could potentially be your best game of the week as far as competition and playing field, things of that nature. This, of course, is the Patriots and the Browns. Now, New England is home, minus 2.5, so given 2.5 points at home to the Browns. Obviously, the Browns coming off of a very big statement win that we won't talk about. But the Browns had a great game last week.
Yes.
They
You ain't
finally
getting off that easy, Bengal boy.
they finally clicked on all cylinders last week. Nick Chubb had a great game. However, Nick Chubb out with COVID protocol this week.
Probably. It's not official yet.
Probably. Oh, okay. Well, regardless, Nick Chubb potentially out for COVID protocol. Obviously, still some injuries there for the Browns, and of course, the biggest news of the week: Odell Beckham released, clearing waivers, clearing.
Is it?
It's getting a lot of
Probably is
headlines.
the biggest. Well, no, probably bigger is will Aaron Rodgers play. But I mean,
What
just
about
by
bringing
name,
the one jerseys out of the
I
closet
have. You
down
know
here in
what,
Charlotte?
guys? I mean, I'm sure. I know we're gonna get a little more. Hold on. They don't play this week, do they?
Who?
The Rams play this week.
The Rams are Monday night against the 49ers.
Oh yeah. So we'll get into the Rams later, and we can get into the ODB thing. Let's move through some of these, but I mean, we'll put our opinions out there.
So the Patriots and the Browns match up in Foxborough. What are we thinking for this game, Ship?
All right, so look at the stats between Baker and Mack, which are actually very, very similar. Both of them are about 66% completion ratings, averaging 2 yards difference in yards per game. Baker's got 8 touchdowns, Mack's got 10. Baker's got a 99 passer rating, Mack's got an 89. I mean, Cleveland's allowed 300 yards a game this season. That's their fewest since Bill Belichick was the head coach in 94 when they were averaging 301 a game. Bill Belichick is 7-2 against the Browns as the Patriots head coach. And by the way, he's 5-0 at home when he plays Cleveland at Gillette Stadium. So this is what's going to be interesting. So with and without Odell. So we are moving on. Okay. So with Odell, Baker was 13-15. He had a 60% completion rating, 42 touchdowns, 29 interceptions. Without Odell, he is 14-11, 41 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, with almost a 12% increase in his passer rating. So he does like to spread it out more. He doesn't sometimes feel that he has to push it in a certain direction. Last little bit, though, since Kevin Stefanski has become the head coach, Baker is 4-1 versus top 5 scoring defenses entering that week. So the week before, if they were 6, but they jump into 5, well, obviously he has a better rating. So Baker likes to go against good coaches, but this is a toss-up, man. I agree. This could be one of those where, I mean, we've seen Pittsburgh get a hold of Cleveland, but then turns right around and Cleveland says, no, I want the AFC North. So, and the AFC South right now, I mean, does Buffalo really want it? Could New England slip in there with a couple wins? Give me New England on this one.
Okay, so Ship's on the New England train. Chris, what do you think?
What's Josh think?
I'll tell you after you pick.
No, it can't be like that all the time. I'm trying to gain a game and I'm present. I'm here on a Thursday.
We had this discussion in the chat about presenting picks.
So Josh is going with Cleveland. Jordan's going with New England. So the brothers are split on this one. And it's pretty interesting because I would have pegged them both to go Cleveland, but and matter of fact, I just screwed that up there on screen. There we go. I would have thought that they would both go Cleveland. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think that New England is better than what I thought they were going to be at the beginning of the season. I'm not sure that they're the better team than the Browns. I think this is going to be one that comes down to, does Nick Chubb play? If he does not, I think New England wins this game. I don't think it's a blowout. I don't think it's a boat race either way, but I'm just knowing what I know about the NFL and the fact that he's potentially on COVID protocol, to me says he's going to be on COVID protocol and not going to be.
Both Damian Harris and Roman, is it Roman Stevenson or whatever? Both of those are on COVID too. Or both of those got some injuries and they may not play. They haven't practiced either.
Well,
so you could be going to Brandon Bolden as the running back for New England
No,
Now, I'm not trying to sway you. I'm just trying to give you the information because
I
I would
understand.
be all in no matter who was playing if Nick Chubb was playing. But I'm struggling with this pick. But go ahead. I'll
Yeah,
let you go.
I think Chubb's going to be out. I think Chubb being out is a far bigger detriment to Cleveland than those guys being out is to New England. So I'm going to roll the dice on Chubb not playing and take New England with my pick here. But what do you think, Chris?
I've talked myself in and out of both sides. Like I was just saying, I was like all in on Cleveland, then no Nick Chubb. Then I was like, oh, well, no Nick Chubb. I get all in on the Patriots, and then I find out that their top two running backs are out. But and you know what? I think the Patriots defense is pretty good, and they're going to be playing at home. So I don't think there's that big of a difference in the production of Baker and Matt Jones, former University of Kentucky commit, before he switched at the last second. Anyway,
yeah, that worked out terribly for him.
I know. I'm not saying. Hey, we were on the. Hey, by the way, they were on the cusp of getting Damian Harris, who was right from down the street from Lexington, and Jones being in Lexington. And they both snubbed us at the very end for the Bama.
Can't believe anybody would rather go to Bama to play football than Kentucky. Speaking of,
Kentucky's putting a lot of people in the NFL, but
They said that
anyway,
he'd get good seats at Rupp Arena.
yeah, exactly. That's
I can. Anyway, I'm gonna take the home team with a better defense. I feel like
because Josh didn't pick him. Let's be honest.
Well, no. Here's the thing. All right, here I'll tell you this. This is exactly what Bill Belichick's going to do. If you really want to know it, he is going to put 10 people in the box. He is not going to let them run on it with Dearness Johnson. I can break down the really, really deep analytics of why that Baker Mayfield is going to have to beat him with Donovan's people, Jones and Landry underneath. But I've been thinking that all year, and I'm in last damn place. But that's exactly why I feel
just by the way, Donovan Peoples did not participate in practice today.
Even better. I'm taking the Pats.
CJ Treader didn't participate. Myles Garrett didn't participate. Limited Nikhil, Janu, Donta, the normals. Jarvis was a limited, so
yeah.
But they said that Donovan didn't even participate.
I keep telling that Peoples Jones is going to lead that team in touchdown receptions, and every time he's like squeaks within one, he has to sit out a damn game.
And Matt Judon returned to practice today, who is their sacks leader. So
well, there you go.
I'm on the Pats.
There you go.
I like the Pats even more and more now.
Well, there
Talk
you go.
myself into that bullshit.
So the next game on the docket, here is what I would assume to be not an interesting game, but I'm not going to say that based on what's happened recently. We have the Jets and the Bills. Now, this is a conference game or a division game, right, between two AFC East folks here. And if you would ask me weeks ago, Buffalo Jets, who you taking? Easy pick Buffalo. Vegas says easy pick Buffalo. Buffalo's given up 12. Buffalo's given them 12 points as a road team. I will say though, this pick is not as easy as it should be based on the fact that the Jets have played good ball and beat some good teams, and Buffalo has gotten beat by some not good teams. I don't know here. What do you think, Ship?
All right. So what's interesting is, I want you to think about this. Buffalo is 5-3. New England is 5-4. Buffalo loses, they go to 5-4. New England wins, they go to 6-4. They are now leading that division, in a division that people said should have been Buffalo handedly running away with it. So here's a fun stat. Mike White and Josh Johnson, you guys remember that name, Josh Johnson? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Finished with a 100-plus passer rating in Week 9 against Indy. Zach Wilson has had this many 100-plus passer ratings this season. The Bills have a plus 117 point differential this season. That's the highest for any team with 3 or more losses in their first 8 games since 1940. So they're a good team, but they lose to bad teams like we talked about, and I agree with you. So Elijah Moore, weeks 1 through 7, he had a 34% catch percentage, averaging 1.8 yards a game. He is now averaging a 92.9 catch percentage, 6.5 receptions a game, over 75 yards a game, and 2 touchdowns the last 2 weeks, so he has come on. The Bills have allowed 5 pass touchdowns this season. That's the fewest by any NFL team entering by 5 entering week 10. Buffalo started, let's see, Mike White's 405 yards, by the way, in week 8 was the most by any Jets quarterback since, you want to give me a name?
Vinny Testaverde.
Damn it. You read my stat.
No, I didn't.
week
I just
17,
I just
2000.
am really intelligent.
That's the only one. So, I'm sorry. I like Robert Saleh. I do. I think he is a good coach. And it's fun to find lightning, but I just give me Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen.
Okay. Chris?
I really don't think it's that painful. Just as much as I don't think that Jacksonville is going to win 2 games in a row. I don't think the Bills are going to lose back-to-back games as double-digit favorites. I wouldn't lay the points, but Bills win.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Bills are definitely the better team here. I think this game is more intriguing in our minds than in reality. So
That's exactly what I think.
I'm going to be intelligent here, and I'm going to take Buffalo. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Jets make a game of this, just because we've seen where Buffalo can let people that shouldn't be in the game against them be in the game against them. And as luck would have it, both of our absentee pickers have also submitted Buffalo as their pick as well. So we've got Buffalo across the board, bringing us to our next game, and that is Dallas hosting the Falcons. Now, Dallas is a 9.5-point favorite at home here. I know
that means a lot.
I know that Dallas is coming off of a very abysmal performance against a not great Denver Broncos team. You heard Hubie talk about Dallas making a winner out of Teddy Two Gloves in his segment earlier. Assigning the Cowboys as the bad for the week during his good, bad, and ugly segment. I'll start out by letting you know that both of the brothers have picked Dallas for this game. And so with that being said, Ship, what do you got for us?
All right. Last week fucking sucked. Okay. It was
For those
ugly.
who don't know, Ship is a Cowboys fan. Continue.
Yeah. So to see them go on 4th down multiple times within the first quarter and come up short immensely on both of those plays, and then you're giving Denver the ball in positive territory for them, it's frustrating. Dak goes for 87 yards, I think, in the first half. And it
That's
wasn't
a
even any
horrible
of their-
game plan. They came out thinking we can run any play we want to do, and it doesn't matter, and we're going to beat this team. And their defense were like, we're not afraid of this. We don't have to worry about being fundamentally sound. I mean, it was just when both sides of the ball, man.
So do you want to? Hey, I'm
coaching
sure
letdown
you
right
know. Can you name the player that scored the 2 touchdowns for Dallas?
Oh my gosh, he's got a strange name.
Because it's not anybody you would know.
He's not number one in your or number something something in your program and number one in your heart. I promise you that, because you've never heard of the guy. What is that?
His name is Malik Turner. Okay.
Yeah, I knew
He
that
wears
it
number
wasn't just
17. So that is Malik. Malik scored the only 2 touchdowns last week, which is
if you
frustrating.
had Malik in your FanDuel lineup, you had the
There you
only
go.
person in the world, and you gained 17 points on everybody in the world.
All right, so over under right now is 54.5. Okay.
Soon
Cowboys-
it's over.
The Cowboys were averaging over 40 before last week at home. It's now down to about 34, I believe. So that's still the second most in the NFL. Atlanta is averaging 24 on the road. Atlanta scored 25 plus points in 5 times this season, and 4 of their last. Dallas has allowed 25 in 2 of their last 3, which obviously we know they didn't allow that many against Minnesota. The Falcons have played 6 straight 1-possession games. It's the longest in the NFL. And then the last little fun stat, Dan Quinn is the 5th coach to take a team to the Super Bowl and then later face that team as a coordinator for a different team. The coordinators are 3-1 facing their old Super Bowl team. And so I can tell you, I'm not stressing. I'm not stressed about this like I was Buffalo and Jacksonville, or New York. Dallas wins this. I've been on an Atlanta train. You guys, I will admit, I pick Atlanta on a good amount of picks, but here I do think Dallas is the better team.
Chris, what do you think?
Dallas is not losing back-to-back games like that. Now, I do think this game has shootout ability. I mean, so load up all your Cowboys and all your receivers in Dallas and just probably everybody. But somehow, some way, with not like name brand weapons, Matty Ice is putting up great numbers every week. You know, so I mean, I think that 54.5, I definitely I could see both teams getting near 30. So I'm going to go over on that game, but I'm taking the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, I think the over's the smart pick here. This is definitely 100% going to go over 54.5 points. I mean, there's no question about that. Now, the only question is how far over does it go, and do the Cowboys get close to that over-under line on their own? I definitely think that the Cowboys are going to drop 40-plus this game. The Falcons are going to score. They're definitely going to score. I don't think, though, that they're going to score remotely close to the Cowboys. I think this is a big game. I don't know if I would put money on the Cowboys to cover 9.5, but I think it's pretty likely. There's no shot that Dallas loses 2 games in a row. They're coming out angry. They're coming out pissed off against a not great Atlanta team. Atlanta's defense isn't bad by any stretch of the imagination, so this is definitely not a rollover game. If Dallas was on a 4 or 5 game win streak, this has potential to be a trap game, but the best thing that could have happened to Dallas was them getting shit stomped by the Broncos last week. It's going to have them ready to go, ready to play, and ready to beat the Falcons into a pulp. So I'm going Dallas as well, along with everybody on our panel this week. So there's our next unanimous selection of the week. Any final thoughts on that game, gentlemen, before we move to the next one?
Dallas hasn't lost consecutive home games since 2017.
There you go. So, let's see. Chat looks like chat is picking some games along here with us.
What's the chat say?
Amber Tillison is mad that I never picked the Browns, and Amber Tillison will get over it. Shawn Michael takes
awesome.
takes the Bills over the Jets. He also wants to let everybody know that the only reason Chris took New England is because Josh took Cleveland.
That is not true.
Yeah, I know that's probably true.
That is not true. If I had thought that, I would have not had exactly what I'm gonna. When you watch Sunday, and Bill Belichick is one-on-one on every one of those lackluster receivers with Baker Mayfield, making sure Dearness Johnson doesn't get off. I promise you, I was not on that side. Now, if Nick Chubb was playing, I would have been 100%.
But you told me that Nick Chubb may in fact still play. So
I still, you know what? I have to make a pick on Thursday, and as of right now, it looks like he's not. If I can change that pick
you cannot
at 12 o'clock.
You cannot.
Thank you.
No,
so I'm going to take the information. The information provided will lean me towards the Pats, but I appreciate audience participation.
Yeah. So Chase Brown wants to know where Josh Hawthorne is. Well, he's slacking off, Chase. He's probably playing Warzone right now, actually, if I'm being frank with you. So maybe go hit him up on there. Next game on the docket, we've got the Titans, the hot Titans, hosting the Saints. By the way, speaking of the Saints and Jameis Winston, I saw, and it joggled my memory, one of my favorite videos of all time of Jameis Winston. Of course, you know I'm a Gators fan, so I have very few favorite videos that involve the Florida State Seminoles. But this is one of my favorite ones.
Good ones, though. Gosh.
Yeah, it was Jameis Winston's sophomore year. He gets suspended for his little explicit tirade on campus, joking around and running around campus, yelling a bunch of words that he shouldn't have been running around campus. So he gets suspended internally by Jimbo Fisher for the next game, which happened to be against Clemson. Well, old boy comes out of the locker room before the game starts, and he's in full uniform, full pads, taking first-string warm-ups. And Jimbo Fisher had to go over and say, listen, man, I didn't forget that you're suspended. You need to go back to the locker room and take all that shit off. Come back out here in shorts and a jersey, and then come see me when you're done. And Jimbo Fisher spent the majority of the first quarter berating him on the sideline for his little maybe dad will forget that I'm grounded and let me go outside and play anyway.
Let me just sneak.
Yeah, one of my favorite videos of all time.
Hey, you know what? It kind of took some guts.
You know what?
Listen, he's putting on his pads. He's like, hell yeah, he ain't gonna see me.
No, he's out on the field in full pads, helmet, warming up with the first string offense. Exactly. I mean, warming up. And you know,
he's elite. I'm trying to tell you, he's elite.
Listen, I would tell you, I will be the first here now to admit I do not have the balls required to shove 2 pounds of snow crab legs in my sweatpants and try to sneak out of a Publix without paying. So one thing we can say about Jameis Winston is he does have balls. Brains, on the other hand, to be determined. That being said, New Orleans on the road against Tennessee. Jameis Winston, of course, will be starting this week for the Saints at quarterback.
No, he won't.
He's not?
No, he won't.
Is he still out? Oh, yeah. That's right.
He's elite.
Either Taysom Hill or Trevor Siemian.
That's right. I forgot about that.
With Taysom Hill going to play the switchblade is what I think's going on. But go ahead. I'll let you pick.
No, I was just, I was going to say, I wasn't going to pick New Orleans anyway. Let's be honest about that. Tennessee's too hot right now. They've proven that they can put together a good offense without Derrick Henry, which shocked the shit out of me because I'd have been the first one to tell you good for Ryan Tannehill taking advantage of hiding behind Derrick Henry to a great record as a starting quarterback. But you know what? Tennessee has proven they can overcome adversity. They've proven that they can play with the best teams in this National Football League. I do not think the New Orleans Saints are one of the best teams in the National Football League, especially with Jameis Winston being injured, which don't know why I forgot about that. But anyway, Tennessee wins this game.
You like making fun of the crab legs and don't pay attention.
So
fair enough, I guess.
Can anybody see your shirt? Can anybody see what your shirt says?
Yes, they can.
Exactly. What does that say?
It says New World Order, which of course represents the Illuminati. Epstein didn't kill himself. Go ahead.
Correct. So let's think about this. Tennessee has players on their team that were young enough to know what the NWO was when it was WCW, not WWE. And I'm referring to Adrian Peterson and Julio Jones.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Platinum Hulk Hogan.
No.
Hollywood Hogan. Hollywood Hogan.
Exactly. Hollywood. So, and that's the cool thing about this is that Julio, by the way, 0 receiving touchdowns, 7 straight games versus the Saints. That's his longest drought. The Saints don't have a 300-yard passer through their first 8 games of a season. That's the first time since 2002. It's around the time frame that old Drew Brees decided to come play. The Saints have 2+ takeaways in 4 of 5 wins this season. They only have 1 in their losses. The big thing that you'll be able to figure out, the Saints have scored 77 first-half points in 5 wins this season. They only have 7 first-half points in their 3 losses. So if the offense does not get going early, you're most likely going to be chalking that up. By the way, Tennessee's going to be coming out with the second-ranked safety in the NFL in a guy by the name of Kevin Byard. He has a 91.5 defensive grade and a 91.5 coverage grade. I haven't
pretty
looked
strong
to see who's number 1, but basically you put him over the top to either get Callaway or Harris or whoever. Benjamin Watson, I think, still plays tight end, if I'm not mistaken. So Tennessee,
yeah. Chris, what do you think?
The fact that Alvin Kamara hasn't practiced yet this week either makes Tennessee a pretty easy pick. I do think Tennessee is going to come back to the pack a little bit. Eventually, the NFL's copycat league. They'll figure out what offense they're running, and they had the ultimate equalizer when you knew what we were running and you still couldn't stop it, and they don't have that anymore. So eventually, they will catch up to that, but I don't think it's this week with the Saints. More than likely going to be without Kamara, so I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
Okay. Well, I mean that.
And if you can get it at 2.5 right now, by the way, I think that may be a beautiful number to not have to lay that extra half a point at home in that game. I'm just saying.
Chris says put it in the parlay is what Chris is saying.
It'll
So,
probably
look, by the
begin
way,
it though.
the Titans
Back
have
to
their
back,
best
hey,
start.
back to back, five team parlay, back to back Sundays.
Tennessee has their best start in 9 games since 2008 when they finished 13-3. So
They look pretty good, that's for sure. And Hubie is proud to root for his home team Titans. He's all about it.
Absolutely, it should be.
He's all about it. So listen, Titans across the board. Next game up on the docket is interesting, maybe. I don't know. You got the Washington football team hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is an NFC game. 9.5 Tampa Bay is favored by. What do we think here, gentlemen?
Miami game is 3-3, by the way, just for a quick update.
Okay.
yeah, 3-3. Ron Rivera, by the way, is 4-6 as a head coach in the first game back after the bye week. Bruce Arians is 5-2 in those games. The last time Tom Brady faced the last ranked pass defense, which is Washington, that was week 6 of 2003. Current Bucks offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich was the quarterback for the Jaguars. Let's see. Antonio Gibson has fewer than 60 rushing yards and 0 touchdowns in each of his last 3 games. Brady is 15-4 in his career in the first game after a bye. One of those 4 losses was to Ron Rivera's Panthers in 2013. Washington has a 31.4% quarterback pressure rating this season. That is the 3rd highest in the NFL. Brady has been pressured on 16% of his dropbacks, which is the lowest in the next gen stats era since 2016. So Washington likes to rush, but nobody likes to rush against Brady. So that's kind of what's going to be an interesting balance to see what comes there. And the football team's 4-13 with non-divisional opponents since 2020. So Tampa.
Fair enough. I'm going Tampa as well. I think Tom Brady is having one of his best years ever as a quarterback at 44 years old. I don't think he's going to slow down anytime soon. Washington's certainly been underwhelming, and I just don't think at this point that they've got the weapons to hang with and beat the Buccaneers. So I'm going Tampa all the way on this one as well. I'm not sure what Chris Land's doing, but he's currently keeled over. Looks like his camera froze.
Is he back? Oh, he's back.
Your camera must have frozen.
Yeah, so I lost sound, and so yeah. Anyway,
there you go. Well, listen, we're talking Tampa and Washington.
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay,
I heard. I had it all, but I just you couldn't hear me, and I couldn't. Anyway, so as everybody know, I took Washington. That defense is obviously not whatever has happened there. That defensive coordinator is fired. I mean, like right now. Anyway, I mean, it's just
you got it right now.
Like, just fire him now because they could call in, the cab driver and give up that many yards a week. Anyway, it's the Bucks, and you got Godwin out. So if you got Mike Evans this week, you might want to put him in every lineup that you can possibly get because he is going to be the monster receiver.
Yeah, big week for him. And by the way, if you're interested in learning more about fantasy sleepers, who to start specifically in daily fantasy, FanDuel, DraftKings, you can tune in at 11:45 on Sunday morning to what show, Chris Land?
It's So Money. I gave it out again last week.
Chris Land hosting his own show right here on 4 Laps Down here on Facebook every Sunday at 11:45 Eastern. Where he outlines how to win money gambling on the NFL. And guys, I got to tell you, he's not good at very many things, but he's good at handing out free money on football picks. So
I do it every Sunday.
Sorry, not football picks, fantasy picks. He's absolute trash. He can't pick winners, but he'll tell you who's going to score touchdowns. So
exactly, I'll take it because that's really profitable.
He's Vegas's worst nightmare. Presents as an idiot who knows nothing about football, but secretly is a Mensa. So listen, Chris Land, 11:45 Sunday. Be sure to tune in and watch him put his money where his mouth is. And by the way, guys, he's not just telling you how to pick; he's putting money out there on these picks that he's giving you. So he's got skin in this game, and he can show you the winnings. It's a great time. So that's Sunday at 11:45 right here on 4 Laps Down. And the next game on the docket for us, we got the Steelers hosting the Detroit Lions. The Lions, are they due? Is this the week? Vegas says no. 8-point favorites for the Steelers at home. What do we think, gentlemen?
Gosh, I'm seeing it at 9. Golly. I'll go first just because.
Yeah, go first.
Here's what I do think. I do think that Detroit is going to move the ball because they kind of move the ball where Pittsburgh is the worst. Like Pittsburgh is bad against receiving running backs. So you look for a DeAndre Swift to get some room there in that type of game. But Pittsburgh isn't. They are better than I thought they would be, and Ben's getting the ball to where it needs to be for the most part. But I don't believe that. I just don't think that Detroit's going to put up enough. So I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh at home.
So there's a lot to delve in with my stats. It's interesting. So look, the Lions are 0-8 for the 4th time in franchise history. They did not win their 9th game in each of those previous 3 seasons. Ben Roethlisberger is undefeated against the Lions. He's 4-0. That's one of 3 teams that he is undefeated against. The other 2 are the Rams and the Panthers. The Lions have scored fewer than 20 points in 7 straight games. That's the longest since 99-2000. The Steelers are 13-2 against the Lions, and they are 0-2 in the month of November, but only on a specific day in the month of November when it comes down to a holiday game. They are 0-2 against Detroit on Thanksgiving. Other than that, they're 13-0. Pittsburgh is against Detroit. Jared Goff is 0-15 without Sean McVay. I mean, he was.
You think that's you present that as if it's Sean McVay's fucking problem.
I know, that's what I'm saying though. You're seeing what the issue was is that Jared Goff did just enough in LA to get them where they needed to be. Is this kind of like that Brady Belichick thing? So is it the system that kept Goff good? Obviously, you know what I mean. That's kind of what I was.
No, it was a better coach, a better franchise, a better offensive line, better weapons offensively, and a better defense. He was the weakest link. Goodbye.
Exactly.
You know.
So here's the big key, though. The big key. The Steelers through weeks 5 through 9, they're 4-0. They've only averaged 19 points, which is down 6 points from what they scored the first couple weeks. But they have a plus 18 point differential, plus 2 on the turnover differential, and they are plus 6 on the sack differential, which is immensely better than they were the first 3 weeks of the season. So TJ Watt, who is the sack leader, that whole squad has actually improved the last 4 weeks that we've seen. I'd love to pick Detroit here, but there's nothing that tells me that they're going to do it, and so I have to go Pittsburgh.
I think that's a fantastic analysis, Ship. By the way,
some pretty good stats right there. That Thanksgiving stat came out of nowhere. Look at my boy.
I don't know that it came out of nowhere, but it came. But you certainly didn't see it coming. I want to give some props to Ship. I mean, here's a guy who, as of about a week before we went live with season 2 here on 4th and Long, didn't know if he was going to be able to make it and be a consistent part of our show. And we're really lucky and fortunate to have him here with the type of work and analysis that he puts in and week out to bring these stats to us. With the amount of time that I don't have, on top of preparing for the show and everything else, there's no possible way for me to be able to do what he does statistics wise. So I just want to say in front of everybody, Ship, thank you for bringing to the table what you do. Bud. It makes the show great. It gives us a lot of stuff to talk about. It spurs a lot of great conversation. And I really appreciate your analysis of this game here. I think the Steelers definitely are the better team. I would love to see Detroit win this game because I am emotionally ready for Motor City Dan Campbell to get his first win and shotgun a beer in the clubhouse and just see it live on Fox for everybody to witness. And I would love nothing more than for it to come against Ben Roethlisberger and the Schittsburg Steelers. However, it ain't going to happen. Not this week. I want it to. I desperately want it to. But I got to pick smart here.
I think we're all there.
Yeah, I got to pick smart here. I got to go Steelers because the fact is they're just going to win the game. That being said, please Lions pull off this upset. Please Lions.
Yeah, I'd be okay to take
pull off this upset.
This one.
Yeah. So we're across the board Steelers on this one. Jordan and Josh, this will come as no surprise, also taking Pittsburgh in this game. So That brings us that completes the slate of games for the early part of Sunday. So that'll get you through the 1:00 games. We've got 4 games at 4:00 on Sunday. We're going to dive into those here in just a second. Then we've got, of course, the Sunday night game and the Monday night game. Before we jump into these late games, I do want to give a shout out, another shout out to our sponsor, Outlaw Jerky Company. Thank you for doing what you do to support our show, to support our program. We're going to be giving away some jerky towards the end of the year on some of the playoff episodes and things of that nature. We may throw out some giveaways here in the meantime as well, as keep an eye on that. I also do want to give a shout out to 41 Sports Studio. They're another sponsor of ours. 41 Sports Studio is is kind of a media effort of 41 Sports, which is a youth sports organization in several states here in the eastern U.S. Appreciate what you guys are doing for youth sports and getting the word out. And 41 Sports Studio is kind of their social media arm. So thanks again for the sponsorship there. We appreciate that from you guys. All right, let's talk late
Can I ask you a
games.
question real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
I know we've mentioned and I know you brought it up, and I don't know when you're actually going to talk about it, but what do I get when I win? Well, I think we've talked
It's
about
being
it.
finalized.
Skyline
Okay.
coupons.
No, I will never give away Skyline coupons.
I think there was a sign at Cincinnati this past weekend that said I chugged Skyline chili or something like that.
Yes, there was I bathe in Skyline chili. There was the college football playoff committee prefers Gold Star, which of course is the rival chili company that people who are really from Cincinnati know is hot trash.
Rival.
That's true.
No, hold on, time out.
Hold on.
No. I already know where you're going with this. I already know where you're going with this.
Everybody down
because I'm right about this. I'll die defending this.
I know you will.
The only thing Gold Star has that's better than Skyline is that the hot dogs at Gold Star are better because the casing is softer. That's it. The chili's worse. The buns are worse. The cheese is worse. The hot sauce is hot trash. I promise you I'm a hot sauce expert. There is nothing that Gold Star does better than Skyline except they get their hot dogs from a better vendor.
Better hot dogs for cheese conies. Kind of where you want to go with that. I'm just saying.
That is not the most important part of the coney. Let's grow up, Chris.
The hot dog's not the most important part of the coney.
No, because if the hot dog's the most important part, then it's just a fucking hot dog and you put Hormel on it. It's the same thing.
Okay, so then why don't you, then why is I know some people just get chili on a bun, not many, but I have heard of people doing that. But I'm just saying, most people want a hot dog on there, and theirs is better.
Yeah, but look, I'm not trading a better hot dog for way worse chili. It's not even close. I'm just telling
it's not
you.
Way,
it's way worse.
So anyway, so I will give you this though. Their
it is way worse.
It's straight trash.
It is big buns.
It is just vinegar based.
Which I'm cool with. I'm cool with vinegar. It's got no flavor. It's super bland. It's like spicy vinegar with no flavor. It's gross. It's nasty. But let me let you guys in on a little secret from my Skyline fans at home.
Here we go. Secrets.
Most of you know what a 3-way is, right? Spaghetti, chili, cheese. You can upgrade it to a 4-way by adding either beans or onions. I'm a 4-way guy with onion. Skyline has the habanero spicy cheese, which is out of this world. Good. It's a shredded habanero jack mixed with their classic cheddar. It's phenomenal. Let me explain something to you. It's going to change your life.
You've read the menu just a few times.
Get a 4-way. I don't need a menu when I walk in there. Get a 4-way, but substitute the spaghetti for freshly done French fries. It'll change your life. You're welcome. Next game on the docket.
I like what Hubie said.
What did Hubie say? He said, I'm announcing right now, winner on the season 4 picks gets a 1-pound bag of their favorite flavored jerky from Outlaw Jerky Company. Well, there you go. So that is going to be part of the winner's package. There's going to be some other things that are still in the works that I have not had time to finalize yet. But Hubie, thanks for throwing that out there. So that is Outlaw Jerky Company's contribution, and we will be adding to that to sweeten the pot a little bit here in the next couple of weeks. Let's get into these 4:00 games here. So the first one on the docket is the Chargers hosting the Minnesota Vikings. What are we thinking here, guys?
This one frustrates me because you don't know, and it's for both of them. You don't know which Minnesota team you're going to get, and vice versa. You don't know which LA team you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get the team that starts red hot, loses against a Dallas team close, but on a kick, but they come out and they look like they're going to be viable competitors for the AFC West. My computer froze, so that's why I'm dragging on. And then in the meantime, you have Minnesota, who looked decent last week, throws it long. I mean, they're playing it. They're not doing the dink and dunk like what Chris and Jordan talked about last week. I mean, the 50-yard touchdown pass to Jefferson against Baltimore. He burns the secondary. He's down there. And it's 31-31 for God knows what, from like 1 o'clock till almost like 6 o'clock. I think it was 31-31. I mean, it felt like the game was never going to change. So, okay, hang on. Here's my insight. Okay. It keeps freezing on me. Go ahead, Chris. I'll get my stats up in just a second, and then I'll tell you my pick.
I wasn't prepared to go just that quick because I was looking at the Miami game that is tied. Oh my gosh.
Still 3-3?
Still 3-3. Waddle. Oh, about 60-yard gain. No, Ford.
I ain't got my stats for this one. It doesn't want to load.
So we're on the Vikings and the Chargers, right? Is that what we're at?
Correct.
Yes.
All right. So here's the thing: Chargers are pretty good, and the Vikings keep finding ways to lose games. Keenan Allen is going to have a great game because he has the number one matchup against the guy that is going to be guarding Allen gives up a 73% completion rate. So almost every single time they throw at the guy he's in coverage with, they get the completion. Anyway, which is one of the worst. So Keenan Allen's going to go crazy. Expect Eckler to beat him on the edges because that's where they're susceptible. But I do think that the Vikings score. I mean, they do score. They do stay in games. I don't think it's a blowout. That's why it's a 3-point spread. But I'm going to take the Chargers at home. And I think 53 is too low. So go Chargers.
So the brothers have split on this game. Josh
Right.
is
Tell me I'm on the right side.
Josh is the one that flipped.
Josh is taking Minnesota. Jordan is taking the Chargers.
Wow. I didn't expect that.
So look.
Don't let me get them. I could fall 3 out though.
So listen. So I'm gonna do what Jordan didn't have the courage to do. I'm going to channel my inner Viking Lucha, okay? And I'm going to say that Kirk Cousins is going to come out firing. The Chargers are going to be exposed on defense. They're not horrible, but they're going to be exposed a little bit. And I think the Vikings score big, fast, and often. And I do agree with you. Keenan Allen's going to have a good game. Eckler's going to eat a little bit on the outside. But I think the Vikings win a high-scoring, close game here. I don't know, let's see, what is the over-under line on this game? Let's pull that up
53
here.
easy points.
53. So I'm going to throw this out there. Since we don't have Jordan here to be El Viking Lucha this week, I'm going to throw this out there. This is the Silver Thunder says what is the pick? The Thoroughbred Merchant Solutions Silver Thunder says lock of the week or something. I don't know. Whatever the hell we call this. This is my pick this week. Minnesota wins. If you ever bet on anything, bet on the over on this game. Minnesota wins a very high scoring close game. This game could clear 80 points when it's all said and done, folks. So 53 is a no-brainer. A no-brainer in my book. Take the Vikings. Take the over. Take Eckler to score at least 2 touchdowns on the ground.
All right, so here you go. Justin Herbert is one of 2 quarterbacks that have 35-plus passing attempts in each of their team's games this season. Do you want to guess who the other quarterback is?
Justin
35-plus throw.
Hold on, say that again.
Herbert.
I'm sorry.
You said Herbert. Sorry.
Herbert is one of 2 quarterbacks.
Kirk Cousins.
35-plus passing attempts in each of their team's games this season. No, he's throwing it at least 35 times a game.
Oh.
They don't throw it 35 times.
Oh, yeah, no.
Who is the other quarterback that throws it 35-plus times a game in each of their first team's 8? Who?
Chiefs.
Incorrect.
Patrick Mahomes.
That would be the 44-year-old 6-time Super Bowl champion. He's thrown 35-plus attempts.
I should have
Herbert's
known
averaging that. Exactly. Herbert's averaging 343 yards a game versus NFC teams this season. That is the most among any quarterback, a minimum of 2 games. Thielen has fewer than 30 receiving yards in each of his 2 games against the Chargers. Each of the Vikings' 5 losses this season have gone by 7 points or fewer. That is the most ever one possession losses in the NFL this season. Second half games is the big thing for Kirk Cousins. In the first half, he's got a 72% completion rating, and he's had 12 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The second half, 64%, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's all he's done in the second half. So if he doesn't score in the second half, that's where your issue arises. The Chargers have allowed the most rushing yards this season, 161 and yards per carry. So, and the Vikings are 0-3 against AFC opponents this season. 2 of them came in OT, as we know. So, give me the Bolts at home.
Boo, that's a terrible pick, Ship. Listen, I'm going to say this before we move on. The Vikings are a couple of plays, and I know if aunts and dicks and uncles, and I get all that, but the Vikings are only a couple of plays away from being like a 1 or 2 loss at most team. They're a good football program who's not been able to close the door at every opportunity they've had. Granted, they've got to do that. If they're going to make a big run here late in the season, they're going to have to learn how to close the door and close on those opportunities that they haven't done early this season. But I think this is where they turn the corner. The Chargers have shown they're a good football team, but they're feeble at times, and the Chargers play really well against the teams they should beat. Right? We thought it was so surprising when they beat the Chiefs. Well, what we know now is that's the team that the Chargers should beat, is a team like the Chiefs at 3-5 or whatever the hell their shitty record is. The Chargers, when they play against good teams, they seem to struggle a little bit. So, to your point, Ship, great stat about Herbert in the second half. The Chargers are going to have to go up by multiple scores in the first half, or they're not going to win this game. What's that?
That's Cousins in the second half. Cousins throws 17 or whatever it was. He's 13-0 in the first half. Cousins is 3-2 in the second half, touchdowns and interceptions. Cousins is the one that performs poorly in the second half, not Herbert.
Oh, my fault. I
so they have to score big in the first half. Minnesota does, because from the stat line and what the trend shows, you can't rely on him to.
Well, either way, I think Dalvin Cook is an important piece of the puzzle for Minnesota.
He's going to get off. He's having a great week.
Yeah, Dalvin's going to eat pretty well. Minnesota's got some people out. I don't have their injury report in front of me, but I want to say that they've got a couple of players on their defense that are out.
Peterson is out.
Right.
Patrick Peterson is out, and Danielle Hunter.
It's pronounced Danielle. Danielle Hunter's out. So I have to say it. They're not here for me to say it to them, so I have to say
That's
it.
True.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think this is an offensive game. I think that if, like, to my point, if the Chargers get up in the first half, I think they've got a shot to win. But this is definitely going to be a race to the top. I think 80+ points are well in play here. So we'll see. So, man, that's one of the first ones I think. That's one of the first ones we've split with 2 people on. It is actually. Sheesh, we've been unanimous a lot this week. Next game,
a lot of double digit 9 to
I don't know
13-point favorites. So.
I don't know that the picks on this next game are going to be all that interesting, but the storyline of this game is certainly very interesting. The Cardinals are 10.5-point home favorites against the Carolina Panthers, whose newly signed starting quarterback is a fan familiar favorite. That's right, Cam Newton is back in the blue and silver.
Now he's not starting. PJ Walker's already been announced.
I understand.
Play this. He won't play
this
week.
Now,
I understand.
Came out and said it though. He said when Cam gets up to speed, he is our starter. Matt Rule came out and said that today in the press conference. Then they said Darnold. There's a possibility Darnold misses 4 weeks, but then they go. I saw a tweet earlier. It said Sam Darnold has an incomplete fracture, and somebody said, "Damn it, he can't even complete a fracture."
Yeah, I did see that.
So I saw that. So they could be 6 weeks, which puts you towards the end of the season. Like Cam's getting, I think it's 4-point-something mil that could go upwards of 10.
No way.
It's all guaranteed because it was all based on his.
Just because it's the rest of the year.
Well, it was based on the contract that he had at the beginning of the season.
Correct. So he can make upwards of 10 with the last 5-6 weeks of the season.
My man might only see the field in 4 games this year for the Panthers, and they're going to pay him $4.7 million a minimum to do that.
I get $1 million a game. Y'all ready? Set.
Hey, sign me
So-
up. I'll throw it 50 times for 4 interceptions for $1 million a game. I promise you I will.
37 yards.
I promise you I
But
will.
that doesn't tell you anything. Most likely, it's not going to be Cam Newton versus Kyler Murray. Most likely, the quarterback matchup you're going to see is PJ Walker versus Colt McCoy. Because
Correct.
Kyler was not even participating this week. Now, Colt looked good last week, good enough to keep that team in there. And I mean, granted, he's 35 years old and he doesn't move like the 4'2" quarterback that they normally have. But
Wait, Colt
still,
McCoy's 35 years old. Oh
he
my
is
god.
35.
Holy shit. Okay,
I was
go ahead.
watching. Yeah, he's 35.
Yeah, I remember when they played in the BCS. And
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
it
They
was
had Mark
in the
Ingram as the
it was
running
in my
back.
old house, like a decade, like years ago.
Yeah.
So the Panthers have 1 touchdown in their last 12 quarters. The Cardinals have allowed fewer than 20 points in 5 games this season. The Cardinals have a 100-plus passer rating in 7 games this season. The Panthers have won each of their last 5 matchups versus the Cardinals by 10-plus points. DeAndre Hopkins also probably, I know he's still kind of iffy on whether or not
doubt
he
he's
plays.
playing.
I doubt he plays, so he's going to be sitting, so it could be the same. Hey, PJ Walker, by the way, he's 1-0 this season. He's got a 70% completion rating, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. But I'm not going to be a homer here. I'm thinking logically with my head, and I think James Conner looked good last week. He ran that ball very well for Arizona, so I see that continuing. I don't have enough faith in old XFL PJ Walker quarterback for the Washington Sentinel. What they weren't the Sentinels, that was the replacements movie.
That was Shane Flacco.
Yeah, that was Shane
The
Flacco.
Washington, it was the Washington Armada, right?
Or I think so, or something like that. But yeah, give me Arizona in this one, and at home in Arizona. East Coast team traveling to the West Coast, playing at 4:00.
Wait. That's the opposite.
That was great. I love it.
So listen, so the nostalgia in me likes Colt McCoy. The nostalgia in me hates Cam Newton. I got to go Arizona. I think they're the better team. I think that I don't think you can really tell exactly how this game's going to go based on anything we've seen or think we know. I think this is going to be a complete crapshoot, and I think it's going to come down to, does Cliff Kingsbury put a good enough game plan together with what he's got available to him on Sunday to maintain their position as the better team. I think in most ways, Arizona's better. We're not just talking about, obviously comparing Kyler Murray to Sam Darnold, clear advantage Arizona. That's off the table, but there are many other areas in which Arizona's better. Receivers, offensive line, defensive secondary. Like there are many areas in which Arizona's a superior team. So this quarterback situation isn't going to affect everything. It's not going to make Carolina play, defense differently than they necessarily would have, or vice versa with Arizona. So I definitely think Arizona's going to win this game, and I think it's going to be actually pretty cool to see Colt McCoy go out and get another win as an NFL starter. It's been I don't know how long it's been. Shit might know. It's been a long time since Colt McCoy's been able to do that. Give me Arizona.
God, it's let's see. Let me look at Colt stats while we move on to was it the Philly game?
Yeah, both of the brothers, by the way, picked Arizona.
So what's
So
chat
Colt
say?
came
We
out
haven't
in-
checked in with chat for a while.
Yeah,
What
while you
we
do
see
that-
there?
Sean Michael says Cardinals in a close game. He says he was still living at home. Holy smack. He was living at home when Colt McCoy played in that national title game. And that Cam Newton needs that $4 million to buy some new hats. That's the line of the night right there. Let's see. We've got, he also picked Justin Sherbert and the Chargers at home. Titus Collins says bolt up, takes the Chargers in that matchup. And that more or less catches us up here with what I'm seeing.
Okay.
All right,
yeah.
so Colt McCoy, as a career NFL stats as of week 9, he has 6,700 yards passing. He's got 31 touchdowns to 28 interceptions. He's got basically an 80% passer rating. He's got 526 yards rushing. Let's see.
I don't think he's going to get many of those Sunday.
Do you guys remember what team drafted him in 2010?
That would have been the Washington football team. No. Hold on. 2010. 2010. He went to the not Tampa
Cleveland
Bay.
Browns.
That's right. You're correct. Yep. I
He
forgot
was
about
drafted by
that.
Cleveland. So, but yeah, and he was born September 5th, 1986, which makes him 35 years old.
Yep.
So just so you know.
Sean Michael knew that it was Cleveland, by the way. He typed in chat as you were saying that. So
Bam. That's all that matters. So just know Colt can sling the ball. I mean, hey, he's not Brady-esque. He's 9 years to the younger of Brady.
Here's the reality of
He can
this.
catch him.
Colt McCoy has held a job in the National Football League with a come and go of dozens of quarterbacks that don't never start every single year, and he's still there.
He's gonna be a coach.
That's not by accident. He maybe not. But here's the thing. They easily could sign somebody in better physical shape, younger, more upward mobility for potential and things of that nature. But teams keep signing a guy like Colt McCoy because he gives you what you ask of him, which is sit right here, help these young quarterbacks. If we need you in a pinch, you can throw the football still, right? They're not going to have somebody there that's got no business throwing a football in the NFL.
So against San Francisco, here are his stats. He was 22 of 26. 84% completions. He threw for 249 yards. He threw for a touchdown. He threw 0 interceptions. He was sacked only twice. He had a 119 passer rating, averaged 9 yards an attempt, had 7 rushes for 23 yards. Offensive snaps, he was on there for about 68%. They kind of mixed it up, brought in difference. But that's and I agree with you. They won by 2 scores against San Francisco, but his stat line doesn't say that because it's that good old game manager.
Well, here's
term that everybody likes to use.
And here's what that tells me.
He did a good job.
That is a beautiful stat line to exemplify a guy who makes smart decisions. Justin Fields will never have that stat line at any point in his career. Next game. I just had to get that dig in because we don't get to talk about the Bears this week. Next game on the docket, we've got Green Bay and Seattle. Of course, Aaron Rodgers still out. I was watching. I don't know if you guys know who Kurt Benkert is. He's the third string quarterback for the Packers, and he's also a professional Call of Duty player, and he streams on Twitch. And I was watching him on Twitch last night, and I wrote him a message that was a little facetious, but I did kind of mean it and wish that I could have done this. But I told him that I wrote each one of the Packers owners individually and petitioned for him to get the start this week, and he laughed and thanked me for it, and then went on to just absolutely mollywop some kids in Search and Destroy. But that being said, the Packers and the Seahawks, this game is going to probably be a lot less headline friendly than last week's Packers game, obviously, as things kind of settle from the fallout of Aaron Rodgers, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw, some of his endorsed companies did drop him. State Farm did not. They said, we disagree with what he said, but he's a great ambassador for our brand and is entitled to his own opinion.
He wouldn't be able to do the discount double check anymore.
Well, he doesn't do that very often.
I feel like that would
anyway,
be. Yeah, but when he runs for a touchdown and he tells Chicago that he owns them, he does it.
Yeah, Chris. By the way, did you take the Cardinals in that last game?
I did.
Okay, I just didn't have it on the screen. I wanted to
didn't
make sure.
talk about it, but I did.
Oh, okay. Did we skip you? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So here's a fun stat for both of you. Since 2010, the home team has won every game between the Packers and the Seahawks.
The home team?
Yes. Do you see who the home team is this week?
It is Green Bay.
It is Green Bay. So since 2013, the Seahawks are 6-2 following a bye. They are 0-2 versus Arizona. They're 6-0 versus all others. When they are facing notable quarterbacks, so week 8, Green Bay held Murray to 66% completion. They picked him off twice. Against Mahomes, they held him to 166 yards and 1 touchdown. Here's the point. The Seahawks scored 28-plus points or fewer than 21 points in each game this season, if that makes sense. The Packers have allowed 17 points or fewer in 5 games this season. Only Denver has allowed more such game. Is it still Geno? I haven't seen.
It is.
Wilson.
Is Wilson back?
See,
yep.
So that's going to be
interesting.
No quarterback has 3+ touchdowns and has a 100% passer rating against Green Bay since week 1, which is the longest streak. This one's I can see Russell coming out there ready to sling it, doing a Dak hip thing if it is him. The last meeting they had, by the way, was in 2018. Seahawks won 27-24. Man. I just think Green Bay, I don't know who's starting on the other side. Is it Aaron or Jordan?
Well, I can tell you that obviously Vegas thinks that Aaron Rodgers is playing because now they opened at 5.5 and now they're down to 3.5, and that changed when they said Russell Wilson was going to play.
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching that just to see what happened, and I was looking for different swings that might give me an opinion on it. So I think Vegas is thinking that Aaron Rodgers is going to play.
It certainly seems that way, based on what I'm
give
seeing.
me Green Bay. I'm going to give Green Bay. Cold. Let's see what the weather's going to look like up in Green Bay real quick.
I may have that.
Green Bay Sunday weather. I just want to know as if it's going to be freaking freezing. 39 degrees and looks like snow. It's possible snow showers.
Can we get our first snow game? Those are always the most fun.
I love it. It's going to be 39 degrees, precipitation of 40%, humidity 68%, winds are about 15 miles an hour. This is built for a Green Bay game. If it's snowing, give me Green Bay. Yes, the weather's going to play.
I am here to tell you that Seattle can play in snow as well. It's not going to matter. What's more important is who's the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. I can tell you that Josh is taking Green Bay. Jordan is taking the Seahawks in this one. So I don't know if this is Jordan with a consolation pick here. But given the fact that Russell Wilson is going to play, I am going to be absolutely stunned if Aaron Rodgers does, just based on what we know and what has transpired. I cannot imagine. And by the way, and again, I'm not defending the NFL in anything that I'm about to say, but Aaron Rodgers, obviously with his controversial statements and the smoke and mirrors about his, COVID vaccination status and all of this, through all of that, right? All of the hubbub, all of the whatever you want to call it, gets fined $14,000. The Green Bay Packers get fined like $30,000.
Hey,
did you know?
CeeDee Lamb got.
You're stoned. You can't finish my sentence for me.
Sorry,
Did you know that CeeDee Lamb got fined $20,000 last week for what, Chris Land? Do you know what for?
Did he not have his shirt tucked in?
His shirt wasn't tucked in. Here's what's stupid about that. Here's what's stupid about that.
Fined more than anybody this year.
Here's what's really stupid about that. The NFL's telling people that if you're unvaccinated against COVID, you're killing people, but it's only a $14,000 fine. Two things. Untucking your shirt's worth $20,000, and CeeDee Lamb is stupid enough to get fined for it twice. How much higher do they have to fine you for untucking your shirt before you think, you know what? Maybe I ought to tuck this bitch in.
But how stupid is it? I'm not. First of all, I'm not defending one side or another on the Aaron Rodgers because I think that's stupid too. But CeeDee Lamb, I mean, it's stupid for him to get it twice, but it's stupid for it to be a fine in the first.
I agree. I agree.
And if it is, it's so stupid. It should be something like $100 just to go. Hey, member. It shouldn't be 20 G's. By God, I mean, come on.
He's been fined twice for the jersey untucked. He's also been fined for his socks being too low. The tally also includes a $10,000 fine for when he waved at the New England Patriots after scoring a game-winning touchdown. Also, another $10,000 for an illegal hit against the Carolina Panthers.
By the way.
Yeah. So he's totaled $46,350 in fines this year. We need to have like a little tally down here every time it goes up.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Look, he's
a good guy. It's not like he's an asshole. Like
no,
I'm here to tell you this. I'm here to tell you this. There's not a bone in CeeDee Lamb's body that gives a flying shit about any of that. He don't care. He's going to take his fines. He's going to take his fines and run, and he's going to do what he wants to do because the only thing that happens here.
Short jersey.
It's
not a long jersey.
There's two things that happen here. He doesn't miss the money, and the NFL looks like clowns, and he's totally okay with both of those things.
And he's playing in that second contract all the time.
Do you remember Ezekiel Elliott jumping into the pot?
I do remember that.
Thing. They fined him for that. And then the Salvation Army made a lot of money off of that.
Money well spent. Well spent. And I believe the NFL donated the fine to the Salvation Army as well.
They did.
So, all right, real quick. This game. This is really going to come down to... going to come down to Josh took Green Bay, Seattle, or Jordan took Seattle. I already said that, but you weren't listening.
Split.
So this is going to come down to who's playing quarterback for the Packers. If Rodgers is playing, this is going to be a tough game for Seattle, 100%. Wilson back fine. DK Metcalf is still an animal. I don't know. I don't think there are any other major injuries for the Seahawks. Am I right? Wrong on that ship?
Oh, let me look.
Let's assume there's not. This is a great game if it's Rodgers versus Wilson. If Rodgers is not playing, my gut tells me Seattle pulls off this upset. So my pick's basically coming down to me flipping a coin on whether or not I think Rodgers is going to play. My gut tells me no. So I'm going Seattle.
All right, so real quick, just looking at the injury report, clean injuries for the Seahawks today. Wednesday, they had some that didn't participate. Carlos Dunlap, Cody Barton didn't participate. Dwayne Brown didn't, but then limited were Alex Collins. DK was a full participant. Brandon Shell was a full participant. DJ Reed, Sidney Jones. So Thursday, by the way, their injury report was completely blank. There was nobody on the injury report for Seattle.
Well, there you go. There you go. So yeah, I'm going Seattle here, with the caveat that I know that if Rodgers plays, I'm probably going to miss this pick. Chris, what do you think?
I'm going Green Bay. Vegas is smarter than all of us, and they figure it out every single week almost. So I'm going with Green Bay. Their secondary is good, even if Russell Wilson does come back. That's not taking anything away from DK or Lockett, but Seattle doesn't have much of a running game either, so they can lead somebody else into the back into coverage, and Seattle's defense is bad. I mean, you can run all over them. So, again, it could be one of those things where I'm reading too much into individual stats and what should happen. It cost me a pick, but
They've cost you a lot.
I know, but they didn't last year though. And you know what? Eventually, doing that much studying has to eventually help out.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see. So.
We'll see.
Next game on the docket, it's the last of the 4:00 games on Sunday. We've got Denver hosting the Eagles. I do believe this game is possibly expecting snow. I'm going to start this one and just say I do not think the Eagles are very good. I do not think that Denver's very good. I do think Teddy Bridgewater right now is better than Jalen Hurts, and I think that Denver's going to play better in the cold elevation. I'm going, I like how you just took a massive bite of ravioli and just washed it down with some Fireball like a real man.
It wasn't a massive bite of ravioli, but it was a nice
size. Did you eat it out of the can?
No, this was like real homemade stuff. It's at the Chef Boyardee, son.
It's Chef Shasta.
Bad.
So listen,
exactly.
I think that Denver wins this game. I think this is a really bad football game from.
By the way, 65 degrees, partly cloudy, no snow in the forecast for Denver.
All right,
wow.
Well, I'm still not changing my pick, but yeah, I read the wrong weather report then.
Wow,
that's warm. That's warm for Denver. Yeah. The sun doesn't surprise me. 65 degrees does. So I'm going Denver.
All right, so look at these standings from top to bottom. The Chargers are 5-3. The Raiders are 5-3. The Chiefs are 5-4. The Broncos are 5-4. You could almost say this is like the AFC's version of the NFC East last year. No one really. I mean, honestly,
no good teams.
I'm not saying.
No,
that.
I think there's some pretty good teams in that division this year.
But when they're supposed to win games, they don't win these games. When they're supposed to lose the games, they come through. You know, it's close losses. It's not big. And then you've got Mahomes, who has literally, we can say that Mahomes is having a down year. Absolutely piss poor year. He's throwing the most interceptions in the NFL. So we go to the Broncos, and the Broncos shellacked my Cowboys last week. Absolutely. The defense looks stout. Teddy Two Gloves looked good. He was able to dump it to Patrick, all those guys. So since week 8, by the way, the Eagles have run the ball 71% of their offensive plays. They run the ball. They do not throw it. Next highest is New England at 58%.
It's smart with Jalen Hurts as your quarterback.
Yeah, the Broncos have allowed fewer than 18 points in 6 games this season. That's the most. The Eagles have not defeated a team this season that currently has a winning record. Teddy Bridgewater has a 70% completion rating. That's the third highest in the NFL. Philly allows a 75% completion rating this season. That would be the highest in a season's team history. And the Eagles have failed to register a sack in 3 of their last 4 games. Philly had 12 in their first 3 of their 5 in their 6 losses this season. And last little stat, I told you the Broncos are the only team to have 2 running backs with 450 plus rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown this season, which is Gordon and Williams. I don't know, because I think Devonta Smith got into an argument. I remember seeing that on the sidelines. There was some shouting going on. Give me Denver right now. I just think they're the hot team.
I agree with you. I'm Denver. Chris?
Yeah, I'm going Denver too. I don't look at Philly as a team that's going to beat a team with a above average defensive secondary where you can load up against lackluster. I mean, you're not. What are you afraid of with Philly? Not much. So
they're a run first team and have no elite running backs. What's that tell you?
Well, their quarterback is their best running weapon.
Not an elite rusher.
But yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. I'm taking Denver. I've been higher on Denver than most people. I kind of chilled on them a little bit lately, but in this matchup,
there's a lot to unpack in that statement that Chris Land is higher on Denver than most people. Just saying.
Well, I've been there, and I think I'm going back. Hey,
let me get my people. Let me go ahead and give them a call.
Hey, buddy,
it's legal out there.
I know.
Call them up, buddy.
Old Uncle Narc over here.
Yeah, I'll invite him over to the weed friendly Airbnb. See if they want to participate.
Jeez. Anyway, moving on. Next game on the docket is the Sunday night game. The Chiefs on the road against the Raiders.
Oh,
out in the Death Star with the strip club in the end zone. It's a miracle that Jameis isn't demanding a trade to the Raiders just to sit the bench and hit the strip club after the game. But that being said,
I definitely thought that would be Cam's spot.
Oh, no shot. They don't let people that wear hats the way Cam does into the clubs in Vegas. Let's be real. So with this game Sunday night, Kansas City is favored -2.5 as a road favorite. What do we think here, gentlemen?
I'll let Chris go first.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming.
I like it. I like it.
I'm going to defer to the second pick.
Chris,
here's the thing. I know no matter who I say, I definitely, the very next line out of my mouth, Nathan is going to be like, with that being said, I'm going the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Or to piggyback off that, I'm going with the other one. You know what? The one thing the Raiders are I think will do is be able to run the ball. Their running game has been a little bit underrated, but their power running game has looked better of late. Josh Jacobs looks like he's coming in, and I don't believe the Chiefs are physical. Now, with that being said, if the Chiefs win, I get it. So I'm going to go with the Raiders, and for your cheap buy-in for FanDuel and DraftKings 100 Renfro. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I saw it on Facebook. I saw another meme that really made me laugh. It's Derek Carr, and he's excited, and it says days, and it says 4, and it says since last incident. They've been good.
Safety.
Yeah,
I get it. That's great. Thanks. I appreciate it.
So look, can't see the medical records. The Chiefs won 10 straight road games versus the AFC West. The last loss they took was against the Raiders in 2017. Patrick Mahomes has 2 passing touchdowns in his last 3 games. That's his fewest in any 3-game span in his career. The Chiefs are 1-4 versus AFC teams this year. Like I said, they're 4-0 against NFC. They face 7 AFC opponents in their last 8 games. So if they're going to win that division, they're going to have to figure a way out of it. This is where it's different. So Mahomes has 2,500 yards passing, same as Derek. He's got 20 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. Derek Carr's got 13 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. They got the same basic passer rating. Kansas, that one's not good. I mean, 2 tight ends. I mean, Kelsey's got 3,200 yards. Waller's got 2,800 yards. Did you know Patrick Mahomes has a 75.2 passer rating since week 5, which is 28th among 31 quarterbacks with 3+ starts in that span? So, yeah. So he's not, like I told you, down here. Down here. I don't think that Vegas. Let's see, like Kansas City's got like a 156 mile an hour Corvette on their team named Tyreek Hill, which Vegas doesn't have one of those anymore. That one is probably an impound. So I like
you're
Kansas
rooting
City.
for it.
I like Kansas City.
As soon as you said 156 mile an hour, I thought no, and then you did it.
You know what? No, time out, because you know what
TikTok
pisses me off?
intro.
No. Okay, and I'll bring this up because you know what pisses me off is that I read a story today that talked about that case, and I'm only going to this point. His defense attorneys are arguing that the firefighters did not respond quick enough to put out that fire. That's bullshit. I'm gonna tell you that now.
Okay, what lawyers do is right. I think we all know are not exactly like good for most people, but you gotta have an argument.
Ruggs' problem is that he didn't call Saul. That's his problem. That being said, I think this game is a shit fest of bad football because I don't see the Raiders playing well against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs haven't played well all year. Let's be realistic about this. I think the Chiefs are going to edge. They've got the better quarterback, and the Chiefs need to win. I mean, they have to. They have got to win these next couple of games, or they're absolutely screwed in the long run. This is a desperation game for the Chiefs. I don't think that it is for the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders had the expectations of being a top-seeded team in the AFC like the Chiefs did, so I think the desperation is certainly built in a lot more to Kansas City's side of the ball. They got a better quarterback. I think they have better weapons offensively. Obviously, Travis Kelce's a tremendous asset for Pat Mahomes. I'm going to take Kansas City, but I may live to regret this one. That's all I can say about that. Bless you. That's all I can say about that. So, all right. Well, that's our Sunday night game. So the final game of the week is Monday night. It's San Francisco hosting the Rams. The Rams are a 4-point favorite on the road. What do we think, gentlemen?
Hang on. I got to pull my
I'll go first. I'll go first by saying, who did Josh and Jordan take?
They took the Rams, obviously.
Yeah. So I won't be gaining in that game. The Niners are not that good. I can't really figure them out. They do good on weeks I think they're bad, and then they're bad where I think they're going to be pretty good. And I think the Rams are a good team. I'm gonna go with the Rams.
All right, so it came out, by the way, OBJ, I believe it's $4.3 million, 500,000 incentives that he can make up to. So that's almost the basis of Cam. So in games following losses by McVay era since 2017, the Rams are 16-5 with a plus 175 point differential. So when they lose, they take it pretty hard and come back. So when you think about this, so just think about Sean McVay, okay? In his time, he's gotten Jalen Ramsey. He's gotten who else? Matthew Stafford, Von Miller, OBJ. Like, people want to come play for a guy like him, which is a really good thing. I mean, we saw the Hard Knock stuff where he could tell you the play that he was running from 2017 week 4 in the third quarter on second down. The 49ers are 0-4 at home. They've allowed 29 points a game. Detroit is the only team that has a worse home points allowed of 34 a game. The Rams are 4-1 on Monday Night Football. They like it. San Francisco 1-4. Jimmy G is 4-0. Is one of 6 quarterbacks to be undefeated versus the Rams. That's probably going to end. Jalen Ramsey per fantasy or per football PFF. Jalen Ramsey has an 84.9 coverage rating this season. That is the highest among 117 cornerbacks with 100 coverage snaps. No player has 5+ receptions or 65 yards receiving against him from the line of scrimmage. Cooper Kupp, I don't know if y'all saw it though. He is one of 2 players in the NFL that has already 1,000 yards receiving and 10+ touchdowns in their team's first 9 games. Who's the other player?
Jamar Chase.
No, it's Hall of Famer Jerry Rice from 1990.
I thought I was trying to find somebody from this year, but okay.
No. Overall,
okay.
he's only, and that tells you what kind of company you're talking about. Since 1990, Cooper Kupp is only one of 2 players to have 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns in his first 9 games of the season, and you still have 9 more to go.
Justin Tucker is no longer the greatest player of all time. Cooper Kupp is.
Did he miss another one?
That's incorrect.
No, he didn't.
That's
but
that's
I mean,
incorrect.
you did. But Cooper Kupp just beat a Jerry Rice stat, so that makes him the
He
GOAT.
did.
Listen, I wouldn't trade. You know.
Yes, you would trade Cooper Kupp for Justin Tucker every single day of the week, twice on Sunday at 1:00 when they're kicking.
Would you
off.
trade Cooper Kupp for Jerry Rice?
Never.
I'd take Jamar Chase over both of them.
Your ass.
You're an idiot. Rams though in an easy one, easy, big. As Lee would say, big win.
Big win.
3 scores.
I'd love to follow that up with a not so fast, my friend, but I can't. I can't do that. That would just be ridiculous. I think the 49ers have snuck into some good wins. They're not a good football team. The Rams are. I don't really understand them bringing in Beckham. I understood them releasing Deshaun Jackson, but I don't think Beckham is better than Jackson enough to also deal with the distraction. Here's the thing with Odell. He's not been relevant since he left the Giants and Eli Manning. Period. The end. He's not done anything. It's it's very reminiscent to me of a guy who thinks he's Randy Moss, but he's really TJ Houshmandzadeh. Right? TJ Houshmandzadeh had a couple of really great years, right, on the Bengals, but is he going to be a Hall of Fame receiver? Probably not. Is anyone going to be upset about that other than his own kids? Probably not, right? Odell Beckham is a guy who truly believes in his heart and soul that he is the second coming of Randy Moss, but isn't, not anywhere close. And it would be different if he was humble, right? So like a guy like Deshaun Jackson early in his career was a pretty boisterous guy, a big personality. As he got older and as he lost steps, he also became a little quieter on the sideline. He became a little quieter when making catches. And I respect the fact of someone who knows their role and who's willing to stay in their lane. What I don't mind is a guy also knowing what he's worth and pushing for what he's worth. So it doesn't bother me that Beckham is trying to push for greater value for himself in a program. What does bother me is that when the Browns gave him a shot and he spent 3 years doing nothing to earn a single dollar they gave him, they release him, and his next action is, if the wrong team claims me on waivers, I'm going to cause a problem.
Yep.
That, to me, is indicative of the character of this man. There's been a lot of people defending him on social media saying he did nothing wrong. He's not done anything to be a cancer. Maybe the Browns are better without him, but it's not because of off-the-field issues. He didn't cause any problems. I have never been so befuddled in my life than to see Odell Beckham say, if the wrong team claims me off of waivers, I'm going to cause a problem. Here's how this works, son. I think he's older than me. I guess I shouldn't call him son, but here's how this works, Odell. If you're on waivers, you don't get to decide shit. Your ability to make decisions about your career path at that point in the NFL is over. You take what you get and you don't throw a fit.
Or
Shut
you can
up.
sit out.
Shut up.
Set out by who claims you don't have to play.
You could set out. But here's the thing. He needs to show up in LA and shut his fucking mouth. strap the fuck up and catch footballs, or he's about 6 months away from never seeing a professional football field again. And that's well deserved. I'm just saying.
I've been saying it for weeks. He hasn't been relative since Eli Manning was good.
And there's nothing to dispute that. There is no eye test stat, nothing to dispute it. It's just facts. It's just facts. So this one to me, I think, is an easy pick. The Rams are going to win this game. I am concerned that Odell is more of a story than he needs to be in for all the wrong reasons. But that's
he's not even going to play in this game. But that tells you when you think about.
I agree with you.
LA was a positive team. The whole gambit of the way LA has been lately. There has been nothing but positive feedback with the way Matthew hooked up with Sean and the way Aaron Donald's playing and the way this team is coming together. And now you bring this in, you don't know where it's going to go. You could have an offense that's like, look, we have Woods, we've got Cooper, we're doing just fine. Slow down a little bit. We got Darrell Henderson who's running the football really good. You might be pushing it a little bit.
The reality is this. I don't think that Beckham affects this game good, bad, and different on off the field. I don't think he's a factor. The Rams are going to win this game. But what concerns me is what he does the rest of the year. Because here's the worst case scenario, right? The Rams go on, they win a Super Bowl. Beckham does nothing. He gets into the Super Bowl. He's got like 3 catches and 2 touchdowns out of nowhere randomly because no one's guarding him, and he still is athletic. And then all of a sudden he starts piping off in the media about how he's again the second coming of Randy Moss. It's just this is a side. This is
dad. It'll be his dad on Twitter.
Nah, well, yeah. I mean, listen. In all fairness, LeVar Ball got his kids great contracts, and they're all eating well, and
none of them rep Triple B Ballers either.
Well, because that's a bullshit brand. But and listen, LaMelo's a problem, okay, for a lot of people in a good way.
He's good.
He is really good. Lonzo.
2 of them are for Charlotte. 2 of them are playing for Charlotte.
Yeah,
and listen, I like both of them.
LaMelo Ball is a problem in a good way. Okay. Odell Beckham is a problem in a bad way, so his dad's not doing him any favors, right? You can get away with stuff when your kid's got the sauce. Odell ain't got the sauce. I'm here to tell you. But with that being said,
there's no more one-handed catches.
No shot. But we are running out of time. I want to thank the 2 of you for being here. I should make Josh and Jordan go 0-13 this week, but I'm a nice guy and I'm not going to do that. Thanks again to our sponsors. Thank you again to our sponsors, the Outlaw Jerky Company, 401 Sports Studio. Thanks for providing us a platform and an opportunity to do what we do. If you're watching and you can hear the sound of my voice, or if you're watching later after this video is no longer live and posted to YouTube and Facebook, please be sure to give us a like over at 4 Laps Down. That's our Facebook page where this kind of all originates from. Of course, this show is 4th and Long, as you can see the logo behind me. But we really appreciate all of our viewers at home jumping in, giving us an audience and a platform to do what we do. We will be back.
Folks.
We will be back next week. What?
I can't unsee it. You just look like a hefty Post Malone when I look at you now.
Oh my god!
Oh, he's on it. He's caught it.
Do you see it? Do you see it?
Buddy, I've been giving it to him since like the 3rd month we've known each other, son.
I just looked at it.
I just want to color on his face with a magic marker and get it all the way done.
It just came out of nowhere. I said, I'll be damned, son.
Hey, he can sing a little bit. Give us a little post. Come on. Let's sign off with a little.
Sing Sunflowers. Sing Sunflowers for me. And you got to do the. You got to do the reverb.
It's called vibrato, not reverb, you uncultured swine.
We'll do it.
Chat, we got a lot of fun. My name's Nathan. He's Chris. That's Lieutenant Dan. We'll be back next week. Friday, next week. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks again. Have a good night.